Luke chapter 15. I want to teach you a topic titled, Sonship is Soulship. And when I talk about sonship, I'm also talking about all gender. It covers the gender. Our gender bases are not different here when we are talking about sonship. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are at verse 11 of chapter 15 of book of Luke, I didn't just want everybody to go because there is something that the Lord is speaking to me so serious now that I'm having a serious burden to explain to people. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of the goods that fell in to me. And he divided it unto his. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with righteous living. And when he had spent all, there rose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to the citizen of that country, and he sent him into his field to feed the swine. And he will have faint and have filled his belly with husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave it unto him. 17. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father enough to spare, and I perish with hunger. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story of our daily living in the church. This is our lifestyle in the body of Christ. This is the way this generation is living. There are many people that have parted their fatherhood because they do not know that it is a soulship, not only sonship. To have a father, it means to have a soulship. The word soulship here is that your soul and your father, if it is connected, no matter how far away you have gone, you will still come back. There are many people in the body of Christ that they have gone too far away, and everybody is calling them prodigal son, prodigal daughters. And they never know that their souls are still attached to their father. The prodigal son demanded for his portion, demanded for his inheritance before the father died. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many people who are demanding things that are untimely, and it is destroying their destiny. It is scattering their future. It is manipulating their destiny. But ladies and gentlemen, when this younger one left the house, he spent all that was given to him. He ran in demand. No more supply. Demand replaces supply. He became a beggar instead of a giver. He went into want instead of living a surplus life. He began to live a life of desperation. He became desperate about the destiny of his life. Yet he was feeding swine. The most painful part of his life, what swine are eating, became what he was stealing. He was not stealing rice and beans. He was stealing hawks. Food that belonged to pigs became what he was stealing. He was not stealing money. He went to what I call the life beyond bearing. Life became unbearable for the prodigal son. But there are lessons that we can learn from the prodigal son. One of the lessons is that he was prodigal, but he began to praise his father. He began to praise his father because of the soul nature. The soul. He was a beggar, but he do not accuse his father. He was in pain, but he do not accuse the father. He said, how many heirs of servant do we have in our own house? How many mansions? How many great things has my father had? My father had everything that I need. How many things are at my disposal when I'm at home? Ladies and gentlemen, the prodigal son was not actually prodigal in soul. He was prodigal in lust. He only lust after the world, but his spirit was still with his father. Let's read it together. And when he came to himself, tell your neighbor, come to yourself. He said, let's go. How many hired servants of my father? He began to honor his father. I know I am a prodigal son. I know my life way is not good. I know I'm not doing what my father wants. But I know he still have some rooms. One of the rooms that is least accessible is a servanthood. I am not returning to my father as a son, but now I'm returning as a servant. A repentant spirit, a repentant heart, because his soul was cleaved to his father. Brethren, sometimes we may fall asleep in faith. Sometimes you may be wounded. Maybe there are some of you here. You have been coming to Exousia before, but you are wounded because of something. Know this. The secret is not a gathering. The secret is soul. Is there anything? Some of you, you left Exousia for many years, but after a time you begin to see me in your dream, like counseling you, like talking to you. Is because our relationship is a soul issue. You may have met other people. You may have walked with other people, but you are not comfortable like when you are in Exousia. Such as the word come with power, such as the word come with deliverance, such as the word come with healing, such as the word come with exaltation, and your spirit is still saying, when I am before the desert seer one, he does not accuse me of my sin. He do not look down on me. He only speaks to me that I can make it. He tells me that I'm coming out of my problem. I must to go back to my father. I must go back. So you begin to make up your mind at a distance. There's something that needs to be made up in my life. The Bible said the prodigal son came to himself, not came to others. He came to himself. This came to himself that is called in the Bible, it means he came to his spirit. He came to what we call the eye of the spirit. He came to the type of eye that Apostle Paul, that the eye of your understanding may be enlightened. That day his eyes was enlightened, and he said, Kai, I know I have been dodging this, my father. Do you know why he was running away from his father? He felt he have already taken his portion. Let me tell you, you can never finish your portion in front of your father, dead or alive, because you bear the name of your earthly father. Ladies and gentlemen, when the prodigal son left, he left with everything that he thought he had picked. He do not know he only took what is divisible by sight. What is divisible by spirit, you cannot take it away. And that is what will bring you back. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know who has been wounded before. I don't know who had a challenge before. I don't know who is crying in this place before. Listen to the answer. The answer is come back to yourself. Tell your neighbor, come to yourself. There are many of you that are here and those that are watching me around the world. You are living a comparative life. A life of comparison. You compare your faith with others. And you see like others are not doing like you are doing. So you reduce your performance. God is telling you that is not the way. The way of eternity has nothing to do who is performing better. We will all give account of ourselves. Everybody will appear on him for herself, for himself, not for ourselves. We will never appear as Exousia ministry on the white throne judgment. No, everybody will appear for him or herself. I want to ask you this question. What do you learn from the prodigal son? The first decision he did was not a congregational decision. He did not call a council. He did not call the people and said, I have sinned against my father. He did not tell people that I've even taken away things from my father. He came within a dimension of recognition within himself and said, what I am doing is not correct. My father doesn't have problem with what I took from him. He has problem because we are separated with him. I want to ask you a question. Are you separated from your man of God? Are you separated? Check yourself. If God wants to speak to your prophet, must your prophet have to put you on a Google search before he can find you? Must he put it www. and then it will say, which one are you looking for? Which John are you looking for? John in Madiganari? John in Blungutu? John in Kogi? John in Benue? No! You must have a relationship with your father. That is why I tell people who come here, don't come as you are seeking miracle. If you come as you are seeking miracle, the connection can be disconnected at any time. But when you find a room in Exosia, occupy the room and stay. When you find your life is getting a definition of spirituality, where you are getting built up and your relationship with your man of God is growing stronger and becoming more effective, find a place. I think let me go to the overflow. I want to know which city is my son living now. I want to know which country is he now. I want to know what work is he doing now. I don't have problem with where my son is. I just want to know where he is. And so sometimes when you are not at service like this, my question in the spirit, where are they now? Did they go to wedding place? Are they sleeping at home? Do they miss the service? Are they just sick? What is the problem? I want to know, where is that my daughter that I always see in PowerPoint? Where is it? I just want to know. If you are at home, I want to know you are at home. If you are at place of work, I want to know you are at place of work. I don't have problem that you are not here. I want to know, where are you? So the father of the prodigal son just want to know, where is my son? Did you hear this? Did you hear this? The father is not worried about his sin. The father is not worried about what he took away. The father was worried, where is my son? Today, I come to you in Exosia asking you this question, where is that my daughter? Where is that my son? I want them to come back. I want them to come back. I want to know where they are living. I want to know where they are now. If there is a prodigal son, there is also a prodigal father. I am explaining a prodigal son. Because the prodigal son left his father, but the father have not left where the son left. Why did the father didn't leave? Because that is the portal ground of angelic visitation. Do you understand? The son went away. The Bible said, to a far country. When he said a far country, it means he don't know where that country is. The son know where the father is, but the father don't know where the son is. Who has a responsibility to connect? Who has a responsibility to connect? That is why when I don't know where you are, you must come back and tell me where you are. Number one, you will tell me, Daddy, I have gone to work. Daddy, I travel. Daddy, we are not around. Daddy, we went to wedding. Because you are connecting back. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? How do you connect? It's because you know where the father is. Are you getting what I'm saying?